Hey everyone, this is Jeff with Concrete the Right Way. I got a little job, just an 8-yarder. I'm going to show you kind of how we do stuff. It's inside, it's cold out, so we got some accelerator. Then I also have some calcium chloride that we're adding in. I'll kind of touch base on how we do that. Pretty good little process. We're only there for 3 hours. I mean, it goes pretty fast. It's about 25 degrees outside, so we're cruising. Should go really good. At the end of the video, on the way back, I got a flat tire. So watch the video, you'll kind of see how I do that. Everything went really smooth, even though it's a flat tire. And I show everything on how I do that. All the tools I have, changed it in about 10 minutes. I videoed that. Thought it'd be kind of cool. Just stuff to keep in mind when you are out and about. Luckily, I have a truck with tons of tools on it. If you would, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. All right, we're gonna check out the video here real quick. Right here, we're putting some chutes on. I'm gonna add some calcium chloride. I always go up to the driver. A lot of drivers don't know what it is, so I go up to the driver, let them know that I'm adding calcium, and if it's okay for me to climb up the ladder. Some drivers freak out about it. This driver was fine. I put it in. One of the things when you're adding calcium, it'll stick to the fins. So I use water, spray it down, then I got to spray the fins. It sticks. You don't want that to stick. If it comes out in clumps, it comes in, that calcium will pop out. Right here we got a wire, just a metal wire, nothing electrical hanging down. So I give them some cutters to cut it. I joke with them a little bit, saying hopefully it's not electrical, you know, and after he cuts it, he thinks about it, laughs a little bit, but they stop the drum, everything, make sure nobody falls off. So my buddy running the chute, one of the best chute guys I've ever seen. He doesn't use his hands, he uses a shovel. And usually we'll pour this out without a shovel guy. We use one on the first bay, but I end up kicking him out of there just because we don't have a ton of guys. But we're sped up a little bit, but we pour pretty fast. We would have opened the garage, but all the rails on the garage, if you look up, there's no rails. So the garage door will not open. So that's why the truck's inside. Just an old bay from a wash booth in an auto body shop. They filled it in. We like to float before we rod. I've seen other companies, guys that came and helped us, they just start rodding and they don't float it. We start out because that way the guys doing the laydown can just start bow floating. They don't have to get down and refloat or anything. We try to keep it somewhat decent. Our truck's a little bit at an angle, so we pour a little bit uneven, but the nice thing about the calcium when you add it to the trucks, it makes the mud really creamy. I mean, it's insane creamy. Heats that mud up a little bit more. Does so much better. You can see the auto body in the back. My chute guy is really good. He's on the money. You get it done, hop out of there. We don't have to move a ton of mud or anything. I end up having my shovel guy start bow floating. My other rod guy is my younger brother. Probably one of the best finishers that I've ever seen. He's really good. He's not so much a rod guy or anything, but he's just a great finisher. My shovel guy and the guy bow floating, he's an apprentice. He's really good. Here we'll start going. He comes to shovel a little bit, but I end up kicking him out of there. So we can just rod and stay right with the chute. It's real important to stay close to the chute, I think. And he can fix any adjustments. And then we can eliminate a guy so that he can be bow floating or doing something else. Works real good when you're short-handed. I'm pretty impatient, so that's why I like using calcium. We can speed this up. I don't like waiting around, and I just want to get it done and get out of there, get on to the next thing. So he jumps in, starts shoveling, but as soon as we get going, we'll kick him out of there. It isn't a huge job, but we got a 14-foot bay and a 12-foot bay, so it's a little big. Okay, we'll get going right here. Get him out of the way. Try not to make too big of a mess. Concrete guys are messy. We don't want messes. It's like paying your kid at home to clean his room that he made a mess. Don't make messes. My Shute guy wants the shovel guy out of there, so he's wanting him out. So we'll get him both floating. We don't really use calm film or retardant or anything on the mud. We just use straight water. Most of the stuff around here only uses water, so that's about what we do. A lot of the inspectors want con film and all that. Never really seen it work too good. When we're rodding, I usually have a 2-foot hangover on the rod. You just want to barely leave a line. We're not real big on using rakes. We only use shovels. I know there's some guys out there that are pretty good with rakes. I've never seen it. I'm going on 30 years of pouring concrete. So we only use shovels. Got some really good guys on shovels, and we can move. It works good. A lot of guys get rakes and they kind of just hide and pretend to work, pretend to move mud around. The ideal of a shovel guy is to get it on grade, and then we just check it with the rods. Remember, don't get good or we don't like doing. We'll just use a magnesium bowl float. I have a fiber bowl float. I like the magnesium. Then we won't Fresno it for a while. I usually try to keep the Fresno off if I want it to set up fast. If we're behind trying to keep up, I'll put a Fresno on it if we have a lot to do. We use a cleaner brush and sanding pads. You see the sanding pad? Just the sheetrock sanding pads, whatever. These rods are a few years old, not a speck of concrete on them. Clean them every time we use them, spotless. Magnesium rods, very light, strong, they do great. Trying to make it set up a little bit, so we're both floating it again. No Fresno yet. See if we can get it to set up faster.
Just want to show you guys how clean we leave our bowl flows. Or our foreman wants our bowl flows. We use this every day, and he always wants it this shiny. You ain't leaving your bowl float this shiny, you can't be a finisher.
Here we use a tricky trowel, a funny trowel. This shop ends up getting an epoxy coating, so we just want a nice smooth finish, nothing burnt or hard troweled. Kind of what we're looking for. But this is about 15-20 minutes after that truck left. This stuff is setting up pretty quick. One of the reasons I really like to use calcium, kind of like if you're in the summertime and it's hot, you're running, sometimes you get that truck poured out and you're almost finished before that truck's even washed out. Well, why can't we do that in the wintertime? Let's set that stuff up, let's get it going, and almost be finished before the truck even drives off the job. We can get to another job, or we can get going faster. That's why I use calcium. That's why I want accelerators. I want to get moving. I would have almost wished I could have set this up a little bit faster, but there's a fine line. If you get that going too fast, you're going to get yourself in trouble. You might be a little behind. So you got to watch that. It's little touchy to play with. You really got to watch that. Get to know the mud, get to know your environment, everything. So a lot of this stuff, there's no edge on it. Like I said, skin epoxy coating. So we just want it tight, keep it tight, and we're good. I mostly use a fiber float. If I do a lot of garages, stuff like that, I'll use a magnesium float just because it seals it up a little better. But I like the fiber so I can move the mud quick, a lot quicker. Curb and gutter, I want a fiber. Stuff like that. We can move the mud. I want to be able to move it quick, get it down. The little trick we do, if it's starting to set up a little bit and you're trickying, I'll put a stake down the handle. When one of my buddies showed me that, put a stake on there, makes it a lot heavier. So when it's hard, you can still keep troweling. It works so good. I have weights and stuff for Fresnos, but if you want a quick trick, put a stake, put a couple stakes in that handle. It'll slide all the way down to that tricky trowel. It's a little harder to move, but you can trowel pretty hard. It works really good. Got a flat tire heading home. Luckily, I got everything to fix it. Pulled over at a Home Depot parking lot. I know I have all the tools, but I pulled over there just to be safe. My truck told me that I was getting a flat. I usually have a couple guys helping me pull this off, but I'm by myself. I got an impact. Makes it easy to take off. We can cruise through it. That thing is insane. Milwaukee. I mean, all the new cordless impacts do really well. There's my flat tire, looking for some nails. I couldn't find anything in it. I carry a plug kit on my truck, just in case I need to plug something, I can plug it. They do pretty good. I'm happy with the plug kits, but I couldn't even find anything. I bought a separate, I got a 12-ton bottle jack. The jacks that come on the trucks barely pick it up, and I don't want to take any chances. So I put a bottle jack in there. I don't have a torque wrench, so I just turn that up, hit it pretty hard on that impact, and it does really well. When I'm tightening those 8 lugs, you're supposed to do a star pattern. I just skip 2 every time, and it works perfect. Skip 2, and then that way you put it on right. You don't want to put that thing on crooked. You'll be in some trouble. Especially with a truck, you know, the truck's pretty heavy. You want a good jack. You don't want to take any chances. Then I'll turn that impact down to put those plastic covers on. Otherwise, it'll snap those things right out. I'll usually kick it and make sure that thing is on there. If it's on crooked, you could tighten it and think you're okay. So I'll kick that thing just to make sure it's good. Lower it down, pull the bottle jack out. We're good to go. All right, thanks for watching. You just watched us do a little job at an auto body shop. Did a little bit of kind of hard troweling, nothing major. Great video. Got to see me change the tire. Leaving the job, got it flat, got it all fixed. Please like and subscribe. Next week, we got a big video coming out on us doing a grocery store, on double trowels, how to run double trowels. There's a lot. We do almost a 300-yard pour with Georgia buggies and a laser screed. Massive pour for Georgia buggies. If you're pumping a job, that's no big deal. Georgia buggy pour is a big pour. So please watch, subscribe, all that. Next week, we got a great video coming out. Another one. It'll be awesome. Remember, not the best, but nobody's better.